Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the final session of day one of this spring's educational forum by Pearson for this part of the world, which is Central and Eastern Europe. Thank you for joining us, staying with us, and hopefully you will also stay with us for day two. Some fascinating sessions waiting for you tomorrow. If you haven't looked them up yet, please do. Go ahead. There's still time to join. My name is Daniel Muszyński, and I have the pleasure of working for Pearson Central Europe in the marketing team. And I've spent pretty much all my professional career in the world of English language teaching and learning. I did some teaching myself. I'm an English philology graduate. And after a few years of teaching, I have moved on to the world of ELT publishing, where I was an ELT consultant, teacher trainer. Then I slowly moved to the fascinating world of marketing via social media communications. And for the past 2.5 years, I've been enjoying very much working with the local Pearson's marketing team, exploring the nuances of teaching and learning in the new digital era. And that's what got me here. Okay, I think we're good to go. Connecting all the dots, a holistic approach to English learning via Pearson English Connected Learning. We will decipher all those phrases later during the session. But in other words, there's a question we will try to answer. How can we empower you or give you the tools actually to empower your learners to be confident and be themselves in English? Why is it even an issue? Why is it even a question I'm raising, to be oneself in English? Because I believe this is the ultimate thing one can do in a foreign language. So simple, yet ultimate, to be yourself. Now, I'm asking this question because it reminds me of, I'll tell you a story. It reminds me of one of my university teachers back 20 years ago. I have only good memories with him, so I think it's safe if I mention his name. His name was Paweł Jędrzejko. He was a doctor. I can't even remember the specific subject that he was teaching us, but I do remember those really nice conversations we had with him on the philosophy of language, the philosophy of learning, and what it is like to use a foreign language versus your own language. And at some point, I remember a conversation we had with him. He was really, really liked by his students. So he loved engaging us in those discussions. And at some point, and I remember we were talking about how it's different to express things in your own language versus in English. And he said things that I specifically remembered, and I will have you know that I am not the kind of person who tends to remember what others have said. I can barely recall what I had for breakfast yesterday, let alone what someone said to me a week ago, or even 20 years ago in this case. But I did remember that particular thing that Paweł Jędrzejko said, because it got me thinking and it resonated with me, at least back then. He was discussing this notion of how we express things in English differently than we would in Polish, which ultimately meant that we take on this, a bit of an alter ego, like a different personality when we use English. And he said, he pronounced his name as anyone does in Polish, and then he pronounced his name with this sort of English native-like accent. He was completely Polish, 100%. But he did have nice pronunciation, by the way. And he said, you have to remember, guys, that Paweł Jędrzejko is a completely different guy from Paweł Jędrzejko. We are two different people. When I say things in English, I am a different person. And it's, oh, okay, wow, yeah, this was wise. Okay, this was deep. And I thought this was true. Actually, 20 years later, I still think this actually might be true in most cases of using English versus using your native language. But now I'm actually questioning whether, because back 20 years ago, we discussed this and we all sort of felt that, okay, it's just the way it is. It's fine. It's okay. It's the way the world is built. Now, 20 years later, I'm asking the question, actually, should it be this way? Should we actually be someone else when we use a foreign language? What if I don't want to be someone else? What if I want to keep being my regular everyday self when I use English? I don't want to change my personality. I want to be able to express myself as I am in English. And I do believe it's possible, to still be, obviously, when you express things in the foreign language, there are a lot of cultural issues, the way communication functions in the foreign language, it does influence the way things we say or write are perceived, which means that there will always be this, tiny chance that you may be perceived as a slightly different person because you express things differently. But should you feel like a different person? Should you be forced to go out of this comfort zone? I don't think so. Okay, so let's see if we can do something to actually make this happen and keep our students themselves when they use the foreign language. But let's start from the basics, okay? Now, what is English useful for? Okay, now it's absolutely instrumental, and that's year 2022. It's a fact that the English language is instrumental in achieving all those milestones in your life, those big life steps. From making a friend is a life milestone, make no mistake, or settling in a new place when you move to, for instance, foreign country, especially an English-speaking country. Settling in a new school, especially when English is used as the common language, okay? Connecting with the world around you, whatever that may mean for you, digitally or non-digitally, getting your first job or getting your next job or getting that promotion you've always dreamed of, but, lack of English skill was the obstacle, or getting a new qualification, a new skill that will help you move to a new place, get a new job or get a promotion, or secure a university place in that university you always wanted to go to, but still English was the factor. Getting a migration visa, especially if you're planning to move to an English-speaking country, or getting an English visa, to get a visa, you absolutely need to know English, because you need to take a proper test to prove that. But it's not just that. Things equally important in life as those milestones, like new friendship groups, which knowing English opens up us to, or professional communities, all those social media communities where you grow and learn new things, expanding your hobbies. I can name one example from my own life. I am an amateur photographer. Photography is something I'm into. And obviously, if I didn't speak any English, I would still be able to enjoy that. I would still be able to, read on photography and, enjoy photographers and enjoy communities of photographers in my own language, because there's plenty of people interested in photography in Poland. But when I think about it, being able to use English to explore the world of my hobby, which in my case is photography, gives me so much more. There's just so much, and this relates to photography as much as it does to many other kinds of hobby or interest circles. There's much more literature on the subject in English. There are many more communities online, especially on Facebook. I myself am a member of maybe a couple of Polish photography groups and maybe 10 who operate in English. So that's a great opportunity. English also gives our learners new perspectives, or it exposes our learners to new perspectives, from allowing them to learn about other visions of the world, and it enables them to discover new and innovative ways of thinking, you know, working together with other people, especially in a globalized world of 2022. I myself work in a company where I'm actually wondering how to estimate this, but I think I'm pretty sure I work, you know, in the marketing team for Central and Eastern Europe. I do most of my activity for the market of Poland, and yet I get to use English, well, close to maybe 50% of my time, and I love it. I really enjoy it. You know, it's wonderful. And okay, yes, I do work in the business of English language learning, so obviously English is going to be a significant part of my professional life. But name a profession of 2022 where English is, you know, plays no part at all. You know, it plays a part in so many industries, in so many, kinds of businesses and industries. Now, new cultures. Now, this is specifically crucial one in 2022. You know, we cannot overestimate the value of getting to know foreign cultures. You know, language learning in general, in our case, English learning, but language learning in general improves communication, obviously. And it constitutes this avenue towards understanding the diversity of human culture and languages, obviously, something that's absolutely priceless, you know, having a look at what's been happening in the world in the past few months, really, or even years. This understanding of how other cultures function and, you know, appreciating this diversity is absolutely priceless and key to future generations, really, because we are talking about future generations who are and will be learning foreign languages or English. English gives us opportunities to learn new skills, not just photography, not just for your hobby, professionally, obviously. You know, we get to be more creative when we learn a foreign language. It's just how our brain works. You know, we automatically become better at solving complex problems. Actually, doing linguistic exercises is like solving complex problems in a way. And finally, English exposes us to a whole set of new experiences. You know, like 25% of English learners claim that English provided them with a new positive perspective on life because it exposed them to, you know, whatever it exposed them to, which made the difference. Helped develop a new passion or hobby. My example, just to mention one. 18% claim they English helped them maintain a better work-life balance. I need to explore this one better. I'm still working on that one. But obviously it does. When you don't need to struggle with the language barrier, you get to be more effective at work and more at ease. Obviously, when you finish work, you're calmer, you're more at ease and in your comfort zone. And finally, 13% of learners claim that English helped them meet their significant other. Yeah, wow. Don't take my word for it. It's all backed up by research, obviously. It's all proven. The numbers are there. But I'm afraid to say that this English learning journey is not all pretty and, nice and smooth. There are bumps along the way because it's a journey that takes time, that takes effort, but also perseverance, a lot of optimism. Mind you, we are talking about the activity of learning a foreign language where it is absolutely embedded, the act of making mistakes. It's not just, it's not enough to say that it's absolutely unavoidable to make mistakes when you learn a foreign language. It's absolutely necessary to make mistakes in order to learn a language. So in this process of learning language where failure is part of the deal, you need to have a lot of optimism to, to stick to the path. basically. So lots of resilience is necessary here, because learning English, it does push us out of our comfort zone. It does make us feel like a different person, like different people. And that makes us vulnerable. It doesn't have to be this way, but it does influence our levels of confidence. And we can work to fight that, and we can actually work to improve the opposite, the positive feelings, but we'll get the positive feelings. So when you look at your students, have you ever noticed those emotions, or have you ever had them complain that they experience those? Frustration, embarrassment, feeling foolish? How many times have you heard from a student when you ask them, why don't you speak during classes? Because I'm afraid I'll say something stupid, or I don't want to speak because others will laugh at me. It happens all the time. I remember actually conversations, yet another story. I remember conversations with the native speakers I used to work with at a language school years ago. We've had some British native speakers, we've had an American, we had a guy from New Zealand, and we always asked them questions of linguistic nature, but not only. And at some point, I remember specifically at another conversation, I don't remember many of those, but that one again, I did remember, when we asked them about, when we discussed actually students who complain that they don't want to speak because they're afraid, because they don't feel comfortable doing that, not because they don't have the skill. No, they just felt, reluctance to open up during the class and speak up. And I remember how strongly all those native speakers emphasized that whenever they have a student, or anyone for that matter, with whom they have a conversation in English and who is not a native speaker, and they make a mistake, they pronounce something funny, or they mispronounce something, the last thing they feel they want to do is to laugh at them. And it got me thinking, because they asked us, ask yourself a question. You probably every now and then do get some people in Poland, in my case, where I live, but in your case, this could be, Georgia or Latvia or wherever it is you're located. And you get foreigners who try to use your native language. They struggle, okay, they may not have, the linguistic proficiency of C1 or C2, but still they try. Do you ever laugh at them? Does it even cross your mind to laugh at how they pronounce things? Yeah, of course, some of those things may sound funny to us, but, it's, I don't know, at least to me, you have to be really heartless to laugh at people who mispronounce something. And, it's the last thing you want to do in that particular moment. If anything, then you feel in awe. Okay, yeah, okay, good. That's really impressive. You try. Okay, good. Yeah, fine. Let me help you. I'll guide you through it. Okay, I'll correct your mistakes if that's what you want. If it makes you feel better, that's fine. Okay, yeah, as long as the communication is happening and the message gets passed, it's fine. Okay, but still, those emotions do appear. We feel imperfect, and we are afraid to be misinterpreted. But it's not just the students who get to experience emotions along the learning journey. Now, students, more often than not, have teachers, and these are human beings as well, believe it or not. You know that better than anyone else. So have you ever experienced any negative emotions related to teaching and your students' learning? Have you ever felt nervous, overwhelmed maybe, or tired, stressed? Sounds familiar? So yeah, there's a whole set of negative emotions that comes with learning a foreign language. And it's those feelings of vulnerability that are actually holding our students back from being themselves. It's really tough to feel yourself when you are pushed out of your comfort zone. It does influence the level of confidence, and confidence is key when you learn the language. Okay, so this is where we get to a point where we realize that positive emotions and experiencing positive feelings plays an absolutely crucial role in language learning. So any solutions built around confidence, around celebrating success, will help you and your students, reach their goals. as learners, okay? This is why we at Pearson English, or more specifically Pearson English Language Learning, have made it our mission to give you the tools to be able to empower your learners to be confident and be themselves in English, so they don't need to worry about developing not just a linguistic skill, but another personality. No, you keep your personality. You're fine with that one, okay? You'll be able to express it as best you will be able to do it in English, but you can keep being yourself wearing up. Now, how will we do that? Now, if you've seen Grant's presentation earlier during the day, you've seen this. Grant referred to that. We'll talk about this in a little bit more detail. So it's connected English learning program that we've developed, comprising our educational content, being courseware, our testing solutions, being assessment, and finally getting that well-deserved certificate to prove what you've learned. Enhanced teaching platforms. Right before me, we've had a session by Imogen showing you the new Pearson English Connect platform. Digital is no longer a nice addition to a set of educational resources. It's an absolute key, especially since the pandemic started. Digital learning is now just learning. We don't differentiate now between digital learning face-to-face. I mean, we do differentiate because they differ, obviously, but it's just learning. It's not something new. It's not something different. It's not a novelty. It's just, it's just the way we learn now. Digital is here to stay. It's crucial. It's not an additional component to the course. So we need to pay attention to the quality and reliability of the digital side of things when we learn the foreign language. English language community, we don't mean to leave you all alone with this. So we want to make this community up with you. We'll get to that. And finally, we also understand that running a language school, if you do run a language school or work at one, it's not just a great mission, which it is, obviously, but it's also a business. And we do address the needs of language schools as businesses, basically. Okay, so let's start with Connected English Learning Program. Now, it is built with 4 proven principles in mind that are meant to help our learners build their confidence levels, raise them. Now, the first principle is understanding the right level of challenge. From placing our students when they come to us on the right path and keeping them on the right path. We cannot place them and we cannot give them challenge that is too difficult or too easy, because they will either get overwhelmed and discouraged or simply bored if things get too easy. And this is done with the help of a thing we call global scale of English. Now then comes the actual educational content, the learning course, okay, the English course. Now, it's absolutely crucial for our learners to be able to enjoy that, okay, because enjoyment drives engagement and relevance. Now, those drive performance. Performance leads to success and raises confidence so that we can finally get to the point we want to get. Building a growth mindset. Now, we have to keep remembering that learning a foreign language is a dynamic process. It's a journey. You are never, if things are going according to plan, you are never in the same place today as you were a month ago, and you will not be in the same spot in a month's time. This is how learning works. So we have to be open to that dynamic side of things. And to help our learners thrive, we need to help them develop this growth mindset. And in order for that to happen, they need to believe in their own abilities. They need to realize and remember that it's a journey. You keep changing places, you keep moving forward. They need to be prepared and confident to move forward. So we need to help them experience success all the time along the journey so they don't get discouraged, their confidence levels remain high. And finally, when they are ready, we don't just teach, we give you the tools to accredit this learning and actually give our students those well-deserved proofs of what they've learned so they can then make a new friend. Well, maybe you don't need a certificate to make a new friend, but actually achieve that, milestone, those going back to those big life steps, get to a university, get a promotion, get a new job. For those things you do, more often than not, you do need an actual certificate. Okay, so the learning program itself, 3 absolutely crucial, interconnected, and communicating to each other components: the educational content, so the courseware, the testing solutions, so those success elements. Let's help our students experience success via assessment. Let's not help our students experience stress via assessment. No, success via assessment. And finally, certification. All this built on the grounds of global scale of English. What actually is global scale of English? Now, global, if you haven't heard about it just yet, hopefully you have, but if you haven't, now, it is the first of its kind, truly global standard in English language learning. Now, it's been created with the help of over 6,000 teachers from over 50 countries. Now, it takes what CEFR has built and takes it a few steps further. It is the most detailed proficiency scale out there, and it determines all the, well, let's call them what they are, all the products in Pearson English portfolio, from courseware to assessment to certifications, which means that all those tools communicate to each other successfully and follow the same principles. And you can be sure that A1 is A1, that B1 is B1 all across the portfolio. Absolutely crucial to keep the confidence levels high and to help our learners be aware where they are along the journey. It also, global scale of English also offers something that is called the teacher toolkit, with really practical. It's not just, it starts with a set of objectives. You can have a look on our website at the detailed lists of objectives for all kinds and types of learners. There are 4 major ones: the academic learner, the adult learner, the young learner, which means basically children and teenagers, and also the professional learners, so usually adults who now move beyond just general everyday English. And you can have a look at those detailed lists of learning objectives specified by global scale of English, and then reflected in all the learning and assessment tools we have to offer. Now then comes the courseware. Now, how do we make it enjoyable? How do we make it, engaging and relevant for our students? Well, for one thing, through absolutely hundreds, if not thousands, of partnerships with people who know how to create enjoyable things. Authors, service providers, technology providers, and content providers. Just to mention a few: Disney, with whom we cooperate to create engaging, wonderful content for young learners, preschool and children. BBC, which in turn helps to bring the real life English into the classroom, because a classroom is still, and it will be, a sort of an artificial environment to actually use a foreign language, because what you learn in the language classroom, you then take out and use in the outside world, and you notice the difference right away. Cooperation with organizations like BBC help us build into the courseware things like videos and texts, reading texts that are actually taken from the real world, and the engaging content of BBC Studios. For professionals, we have cooperations with the Financial Times, which provides real business cases texts to professional content like Business Partner, our main #1 business English course. And then we build this growth mindset to make sure that our students are aware of the fact that it's a dynamic process and we will be moving forward. We do not want to stay in the same place all the time. How do we do that? Well, we encourage self-reflection at regular intervals. We build into courseware assessment opportunities and self-reflection opportunities to highlight for our learners the link between the effort they've put in and the success they've experienced. So they are aware and eager. They are aware of this link, of this relationship, and eager to put in more effort to experience more success, obviously. We also encourage learner autonomy. Classrooms, you spend what? 2 or 3 hours in the classroom, in an English classroom a week. And then you go out and spend many, many more outside being exposed to English or being forced to use English. So autonomy and opportunities for self-study outside the classroom are absolutely crucial for the final success. So we do offer our learners lots of extra activities meant to be pitched at the right level for them to enjoy and be very willing to actually engage with the content on their own, in their own time. And finally, informal assessments, which are not meant to get you the grades you want from your students or get your, it's this never-ending fight, whether it's against grades-related learning. This has been around for quite a while now, and obviously many state schools' curricula are based on getting grades, and we have this sort of, belief that we learn in order to get grades. It's just what we bring from the state school classroom into a foreign language classroom if we are talking about an extracurricular test. And obviously, most language schools, those afternoon classes still give the students opportunities to actually get some kind of grade so that we know whether they pass or fail, how well they're doing. But the second part is crucial. It's not the grades, it's to actually know how well they're doing. And this is the type of assessment we are talking about here. We don't want students to learn for grades. We want them to learn so that they move forward, continue along the journey, and at every single stage, they know very well and they are aware of, what it is they need to focus on, how well they're doing at something, not to know how well they are at something, but just to know where room for improvement is. And being aware of that is key, again, to build your confidence levels. Because confidence, make no mistake, confidence is not directly related to how good you are at something. Confidence is this, state of ease and awareness of where I know where I am, I know what I know what I don't know, I know where I need to go to get where I want to be, I know what kind of effort I need to make, and being aware, that's confidence. That's being, and taking responsibility for your own learning. Okay, good. So I still struggle with Future Perfect, so I need to focus on that maybe a little more than on something else. This is confidence, and not brilliant. I have mastered Future Perfect. I'm brilliant at it. No, that's not confidence. That's arrogance, really. Even if you actually are great at Future Perfect. And finally, we give you the tools to, we give your learners the tools to demonstrate what they've learned so that we can accredit them and get that final reward for their efforts and the ability to reach the milestone they have as their goal. Our certificates and exams are recognized all over the world by governments, employers, universities, just to name a few. Pearson English International Certificate, popular among employers, people who want to develop their career, among students as well. PT Academic, recognized by organizations like UK Home Office and other governments in English-speaking country for visa purposes. If you want to move to an English-speaking country like the UK or Australia or New Zealand, you will need to pass a specific exam that is approved by the local authorities, and PT Academic is one of those certificates. A lot of support comes with those assessments that we're discussing, a lot of preparation materials. Our assessments are very convenient. You can take them pretty much anytime and almost anywhere. Actually, this year, soon we will be launching the computer-based version of International Certificate, which means our students will be able to, in a secure, monitored way, but still in the comfort of their home. We will be discussing the details of that very soon, so watch this space. So your students will be able to get this recognized certificate without the need to leave their homes, really. Most of our recognized certificates are assessed by sophisticated advanced AI, recognized by UK Home Office and experts in the field, so that we have absolute certainty that the way we assess our students is fair. Now, Grant earlier referred to a different kind of snake. Now, this is a good one. Now, this is how we can guide our learners. Now, the Pearson English Connected learning programs are built in a way so that our students can join at any age and at any stage in their lives and in their English learning journey. We have tools for placing our students, for monitoring their progress, for certifying what they've learned, and the content to actually give them opportunities to learn for young learners, for teenagers, for adults, and then for professional adults. There's something for everyone all along the journey. Now, obviously, all this constitutes maybe not a complex, but a wide range of solutions and tools. Navigation through which can be, but isn't, challenging, because we do get you covered, and you get the tools that help you navigate your students through the journey. Things like the courseware and assessment mapping catalog for Pearson Connected English Learning Program. Now, this is a document that you will receive in the post-conference package, where you can see how our courseware communicates with assessments and which of the former ones can be supplemented with the latter ones, at which point, at which level, so we don't need to wonder, okay, so which test do I need to use if I've completed course level A2 of roadmap with my adult learners. No, it's all there because all those solutions, so to say, speak the same language. Thanks to what? Yes, the global scale of English. And so for young learners, preschool and school children, we have courseware like Created with Disney, My Disney Stars and Friends, English Code with elements of coding, or STEAM, yes, science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths. Or the newest addition to our young learners portfolio, Rise and Shine, promoting social awareness and community building. Again, so important. Young learners assessments like English Benchmark Young Learners Test taken on a tablet or on a computer in a fun, engaging way that doesn't really feel like a test, because it's not supposed to feel like a test. It's supposed to provide valuable information about how well our kids, our children, our young learners are doing and what they need to do next to keep doing great and get their first certificate in the form of International Certificate Young Learners, which is a nice first big step in their English learning journey. For teenagers, we have popular courseware like Wider World, Focus, or Gold Experience if you are more exam-oriented, and then assessments for placing our students in the right place on their path, like level test, and then monitoring their progress with a benchmark test that actually feeds back into Wider World, Focus, Gold Experience, because benchmark test, what it does, it's still a test, but what it tells you is, okay, you're doing great with this. You still have room for improvement here and there. Now let me help you actually fix those things. And my suggestions are go to Focus Unit 3, Section Vocabulary, or Wider World, Unit 8. So we actually get very practical suggestions and recommendations for further work. This is what we mean by assessment for learning, so popular. Younger teenagers are still welcome to use the upper and get the upper levels of International Certificate Young Learners, but once they move past this more or less 14 years of age point, they may want to get a more serious kind of proof that they've learned English very well in the form of international certificate, and that one is already recognized by employers, universities. When you're 14 or 15 or 16, you may start, or your parents may start to think about your future academic career, and those certificates will at some point become very, very useful. And the same goes for adults. Solutions for every aspect of the journey, courses like Speak Out or the very flexible roadmap, Financial Times powered business partner, and assessments. Here comes the Pearson portfolio for more academic or professional edge to it. And finally, the certification, international certificate supported with the readiness test, which actually tells you and tells your students whether they are ready or not to take the actual thing, the actual certification. And the PT Academic recognized by, as I've mentioned, institutions like UK Home Office. Enhanced teaching platforms. I will not repeat what Imogen has said before me, just to make you aware that we are taking this next step in terms of digital offering, and you will very soon see Pearson English Connect as the platform that actually is the sort of native environment where learning happens, lots of interactivity, lots of opportunities to, grade, track, monitor, and celebrate success for our students. Stress-free, intuitive to use, that helps monitor performance, manage the time of the course better, and obviously optimize for mobile devices. Now, this is something that is now very, very obvious in terms of online solutions. If it doesn't work on mobile, we're not interested in it. More than 50% of learners use mobile more often than they use desktop devices, obviously. So we do address that aspect. And the English language community. So we don't want you to just create this community with your learners. We want to actually make this community with you. We are here with you all along the journey with lots of opportunities for onboarding. We will help you get to know the tools, digital, non-digital, choose the right path, navigate through the portfolio of solutions that constitute this Pearson Connected English Learning. Lots of opportunities for support, methodological and technological, with lots of extra materials to support the learning journey, for example, in the form of English academies of 4 different types, for pre-primary students, primary. If you haven't heard about those, do reach out to your local Pearson representative and ask them about this, because this is already live, this is already available, and these are great resources, great resource hubs with lots of materials for extra work, both in class and outside of class for self-study. Very soon you will see a lot of opportunities to grow your business with us, because as I've said, we do understand that running a language school is a business. And for business to thrive, the numbers needs to be in the right place. We want to support you grow your business. You will have a chance to participate in partnership / educational programs where you will receive lots of additional promotional supporting content, like ready-made templates for welcome letters or certificates for your students. We've already started piloting programs of this sort, for example, in Poland, where we have English and More program. If I know that a significant part of our audience today comes from Poland, so you are free to go to our website and see. And even if you're not, but maybe you have colleagues who do work in Poland or understand Polish, go ahead and check out the website for English and More program. You will very soon see similar initiatives open up in other markets of our part of the world. So again, something to ask your local Pearson representative about. Okay, so feel free to join our Pearson Connected English Learning Program and help your learners build their levels of confidence and help them be themselves. Thank you very much. That's it for the day. So this was the final session of day 1 of this spring's educational forum. Visit our website and contact our representatives for more. Hopefully you will stay with us for day 2 and enjoy your afternoons. Thank you. It was lovely speaking to you. Bye-bye.